Will Smith.
Will Smith's life is often seen through the glow of success, laughter, and global admiration, yet behind that brilliance exists a deeply human story shaped by pain, fear, ambition, and resilience. From West Philadelphia to the heights of Hollywood, his journey is not simply about fame, but about survival, identity, and emotional endurance. He is a man who learned early how to smile through fear, perform through pain, and keep moving even when his heart felt fractured. His story reminds us that greatness is rarely born from comfort. It is forged in conflict, carried through doubt, and tested in moments when the world is watching most closely. A childhood shaped by fear and silence. Will Smith's early life was defined not by poverty, but by emotional instability hidden behind a respectable household. Growing up in Philadelphia, he lived under the shadow of a strict and volatile father and a gentle, resilient mother. One traumatic childhood moment, witnessing violence at home, left a permanent mark on his sense of self. That experience planted guilt, shame, and a deep need to protect others. From that point forward, Will learned to use humor as armor, laughter as survival. The smile the world later adored was born not from joy, but from fear and responsibility far too heavy for a child. His childhood taught him how to read rooms, manage emotions, and perform for peace. Those lessons later became tools for stardom, but the wounds beneath them never fully healed, shaping his drive, his vulnerability, and his lifelong search for control and safety. The birth of a performer as protection. As a teenager, Will discovered that entertaining others could soften tension and win approval. Performance became his emotional shield. Rap music and television offered escape, structure, and purpose. He learned that attention could replace affection, and applause could quiet fear. This survival instinct evolved into charisma, confidence, and presence. Yet behind that energy lived anxiety and self-doubt. His need to be liked was not vanity, but a defense mechanism. The boy who once felt powerless transformed himself into someone impossible to ignore. This phase of his life shows how trauma can fuel talent, turning pain into productivity. However, it also reveals a dangerous pattern. When identity is built on pleasing others, self-worth becomes fragile. This emotional foundation followed Will into adulthood, shaping how he approached fame, relationships, and success. Hip-hop success and the sting of rejection. Will's rise with DJ Jazzy Jeff brought early fame, joy, and industry recognition. Their music felt light, playful, and accessible, setting them apart in hip-hop culture. Winning a Grammy should have been validation, but instead it exposed rejection from peers who dismissed his style as inauthentic. The moment was triumphant and isolating at the same time. He held history in his hands while feeling unseen by those he hoped would respect him. This contradiction reinforced a painful lesson. External success does not guarantee internal peace. His confidence grew publicly, while insecurity deepened privately. That tension became a recurring theme. Praise from the masses could never fully silence his fear of not being enough. Fame, money, and a painful collapse. Early success brought sudden wealth without guidance. Young and unprepared, Will fell into financial chaos, owing millions in taxes. The fall was swift and humiliating. One moment celebrated, the next nearly bankrupt. This collapse shattered any illusion of invincibility. It forced him to confront responsibility, discipline, and humility. Losing everything taught him that talent alone cannot sustain a life. Structure and accountability mattered just as much. This low point became a turning moment, stripping away entitlement and replacing it with urgency. Without this failure, his later success may not have been possible. Pain became a teacher rather than an enemy. Reinvention through television opportunity arrived unexpectedly through television, offering Will a second chance. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air gave him stability, visibility, and redemption. Comedy masked his insecurity while providing structure and income. The show allowed him to turn his real-life struggles into humor that resonated with millions. Television became a place where pain could be reshaped into connection. This reinvention saved his career and restored his confidence. Yet even as success returned, the emotional engine driving him remained rooted in fear of failure. The crown was back on his head, but the pressure to never fall again grew heavier. Hollywood stardom and emotional isolation. Will's transition into blockbuster films cemented him as a global icon. Action, charm, and humor made him universally loved. Yet with greater fame came greater isolation. He felt trapped by the image he created, expected to be endlessly positive and unbreakable. Critics questioned his depth, dismissing joy as artificial. This misunderstanding hurt deeply. Will longed to be seen as more than a brand. The pressure to maintain perfection limited emotional freedom. Stardom brought admiration, but reduced authenticity. He became visible to everyone, yet emotionally invisible, a paradox that intensified his internal struggle. Proving depth through physically demanding roles. Seeking validation, Will pursued demanding dramatic roles that pushed him to physical and emotional extremes. Playing Muhammad Ali required discipline, sacrifice, and suffering. The transformation tested his body and spirit. Later, the pursuit of happiness reopened childhood wounds tied to fear and responsibility. These performances were not acting alone, but emotional release. Through these roles, he confronted his past and reshaped pain into purpose. Awards recognition validated his depth, but the cost was exhaustion. These experiences showed his willingness to suffer to be understood, revealing how deeply he tied self-worth to achievement. Regret and roads not taken. Despite success, Will carried regret over roles he declined. Missed opportunities haunted him, serving as reminders that even legends make imperfect choices. These moments revealed his humanity and self-doubt. He questioned his instincts and wondered about alternate futures. Regret became another emotional weight, reinforcing the belief that perfection was always just out of reach. These reflections showed that ambition often walks alongside dissatisfaction, especially for those who measure themselves by constant growth. Redemption and the weight of the crown. Winning an Oscar for King Richard symbolized long-awaited recognition. The role mirrored his own life as a father, driven by protection and control. The victory validated decades of effort. Yet the same night became the most damaging moment of his career. One impulsive action overshadowed triumph and reshaped public perception. The fall was immediate and global. Consequences followed swiftly, forcing him into reflection and accountability. This moment exposed how unhealed wounds and emotional triggers can surface under pressure. The crown he sought became heavier than ever. Public shame and personal reckoning. After the incident, Will faced silence, criticism, and self-examination. Apologies followed, marked by vulnerability rather than defensiveness. He acknowledged failure and responsibility, allowing the world to see him without the mask. This phase stripped away the illusion of invincibility. Shame became a catalyst for growth rather than denial. For the first time, humanity replaced heroism. His willingness to confront the moment openly suggested that redemption begins with honesty, not perfection. Love, fatherhood, and the search for healing Will's emotional story is incomplete without love and family. Fatherhood gave him purpose deeper than fame. Holding his son for the first time fulfilled a promise to break cycles of pain. Yet relationships also carried strain, shaped by career demands and emotional complexity. Love exposed vulnerability more than success ever did. Through family, Will confronted his deepest fears and greatest hopes. His life reveals that healing is not linear. It is a lifelong process shaped by awareness, accountability, and the courage to face one's shadow. His story remains a testament to resilience, reminding us that greatness and fragility often walk hand in hand.